Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Tuesday night, and we all know what that means. It's Tuesday Trucker Talk with Trucker Todd. There's enough teas for you. I hit my tea quota for the day. It's been a crazy week. We're going to jump into it. If you've been following the videos, as you know, I left SRO Logistics. I did a video about it. And as you might expect in the YouTube world, there's two channels that have given me a heads up. They're going to make up information in one case, and another guy's going to tell half truths. So there will be videos that are going to be coming out that are negative, and I guess it'll be up to you to decide who you believe and who you don't believe. And I'm good with it. You know, I've already resigned. That I knew that things like this would happen. So a lot of people have been texting me and emailing me wanting to know how my orientation's going, where I'm working, things like that. We're going to get to those things, probably not tonight. I'll tell you about orientation. I'm still fixing things here. Give me just a second. We're almost there. What in the world? Having a little bit of technical issues here. Give me just a second. All right, I got that fixed. Let me tell you about orientation real quick. It's been fun. The guy that sits next to me, or did sit with me, we did our last day today, sits next to me, hilarious guy. He's actually in the room next to me. He's had me laughing throughout orientation. The guy that teaches it is, I'm not even exaggerating, like a over 6 foot tall, solid muscle. I was joking with him that if I show up at the terminal upset, he's not going to be the guy I approach aggressively for sure. I'm not going to be inviting him out behind the building for a fist fight. He said he watches my channel. He was familiar with my work, and so that was cool as well. We had 17 in our class, and all a very diverse group of people. They're currently short some trucks, and it's not that they don't have the trucks. Some of them are in recovery. Some of them are, in the shop getting maintenance and stuff done. Some of them, are at the body shop getting touch-up work done, things like that. So I may turn out being here a few more days. In fairness to them, they did warn me that this might be, or it was a likely possibility. So I'm fine with it. I'm not upset. They are providing me with a hotel, a rental car, and they're paying me while I wait for a truck, and actually paying pretty well, in my opinion. So everything's fine, no hard feelings. And I'll talk more about it when I do the reveal video and talk about where it is I'm working, because, sorry, I'm swinging back and forth in this chair. I don't want to give so much away that I reveal it before I'm ready to. I've already had probably 4 or 5 of you ask me about coming to work here, and I'm really uncomfortable recommending it unless you're just desperate like I was and looking for something. I need to get seated in a truck and drive before if I can tell you if it's a good place or a bad place. But so far, I'm really impressed with the culture, with the people I've met here and things like that. And I realize that that's what orientation's supposed to be. They're supposed to put their best foot forward. I'm sure they're fine, but I want to check them out a little more before I, get behind them and say, yeah, for sure you need to do this. And so that's what's going on here. Crazy week. When I quit, for those that hadn't seen the video, I took the truck and trailer to Dallas. My uncle, Racing Ray, followed me over there, and we came back. And then the very next day, that afternoon, I left and had about 1,000-mile drive, and I only stopped and slept for 3 hours. So when I got to the hotel, needless to say, I was a zombie. And if you've watched some of my videos this week, I look like a zombie. Last night was the first night that I got a really good night's sleep, and I don't have to be up at the office until noon tomorrow, so I got time to sleep in, and I'm looking forward to that. But trust me when I say something will happen that I won't be able to get that planned sleep that I was hoping for. But I'm sure you've all got questions. I'll try to answer anything I can except the company name yet, and we'll get to that. All right, let's go see who's got what. But before we do, let's say hello to our channel members. We've got 20 of them. And so let me see. I lost my mouse, and so that kind of slows things down a little bit. See if I can pull them up. Here we go. All righty, let's go all the way down to the bottom. And starting with the longest standing channel member, if I can get it to go down there. It's really difficult when, what's wrong with this thing? Do it this way. Got Robbie Ross. As soon as I let go of it, it goes back up. Ramon, Adam, Newman Attack, who a lot of you, he's responsible for your channel membership, him and Rob Rossi. What is wrong with this thing? Sorry, folks, it's definitely a technical Tuesday. And Adam again, I think he's got 2 accounts on here. Poplars, Ian, Mark Ely, Lance Calhoun. And we're almost there. And this, I got to find my mouse or get another one. 18-wheeler, Jordan B., Andrew Russell, P.U. Patel, Jay Leatherman, Craig Hutchison, Chris Bollinger, also known as Poppy, Roar Fit, Ohio Trucker, The Incredible Bulk, and the most recent from 3 days ago, Racing Ray, my uncle. So we've had 3, well, more than that. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we've had 6 people just this week become channel members. If you're on an Android device and you'd like to become a channel member, hit that join button down right below the video. And for like $5 a month, you can be a channel member and help support the channel. All right, we're almost 10 minutes into it. Let's go up and say hello to people that got on here first today, if my computer will work. Boy, it's really bad when you don't have your mouse. What is wrong with this thing? We're almost there, folks. All right, I think I see what happened. First in today was Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Hello, friends from Eaton, Ohio. Wow, you're way over there. I'm at an undisclosed location. I use this background, but I'm really in a hotel. And Becca, I hadn't seen her and her husband in a while on here. Good to see them back. Hello from Stratford, Missouri. So y'all must be at y'all's terminal. How are things going for y'all? I was thinking about y'all the other day. Roger Berry says, hey, everyone. Hello, Roger Berry. Poplars, who's also a channel member, says hello. HD Eagle 77. Hope everyone, or hello, everyone. I hope all is good. Yeah, pretty good for sure. Poplars, channel member. Things are exhausting. Amen. I've been running like a chicken with my head cut off. Even before the show, I was tearing this place apart looking for that mouse for this computer. I moved out of that other truck so quickly that stuff is kind of strewn, and I'm still unpacking and trying to find stuff. I think the mouse is out in the rental car in one of the bags, and I just didn't have enough time to look for it today. So hopefully by the next video, I'll have all that. Chris Bollinger, channel member, got to go to sleep, getting up at 3:30 a.m. Have a good night. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk tomorrow. I'll be able to call you during normal business hours, as you would say. Like I say, I've got that. I'm supposed to meet with some people tomorrow at 10 a.m. and have some breakfast. And then I may go a little late. We may change that. And then be at the office at noon. And then I got some stuff to do right after that. But I'll get you called tomorrow. Try to call you earlier in the morning. And Poplar's channel member turned in a 3,060-mile week last week. Wow. This is kind of embarrassing to say. I did too, but most of it was in a four-wheeler, so it didn't pay. But yeah, I ran pretty hard too. HD Eagle 77. Yes, I have an early day as well. I will catch the replay. Good night, and God bless everyone. Yeah, so I always hear that a lot of people, I appreciate you being here, HD Eagle. I always hear people say that they have a hard time getting notifications when the show's coming out. And, sometimes it's ideally we'd like it to be between 5 and 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today, I didn't get back to the motel quick enough for that to happen. And so if you miss a show, it's not the end of the world. You can still watch the replay. You can leave a comment. I do my best to respond in some way to every comment that comes through. Now, keep in mind, there's almost 700 videos out there floating around. And so sometimes it may take me a while to get back to you. We're also streaming on something like, I think currently we're only on 5 different platforms. We've been on more before, and we probably will be on more in the future. I was talking to some people today about possibly even converting this to a podcast as well. So we're in a lot of places. I got comments coming from a lot of places. I appreciate all the comments, especially if they're constructive, if I can learn from them, if it can add to the conversation. I don't appreciate as much the smart, critical comments, making fun of me, something like that, telling me how dumb I am or what a big mistake I am. Those comments don't add to the conversation. But we've got people in this group, and I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to leave anybody out. We've got people in this group that will add to the conversation. So if somebody puts a good question in the comments, sometimes even before I see it, they'll get on there and give that person good advice or good resources, websites they can go to, and things like that. And I'd much rather have stuff like that. So instead of looking for a chance to take a shot at me or put me down, look and see who you can help on there. I used to say this about church people. They'd say, I don't go to church because I already know everything. I've already read the Bible. I already know everything. Well, if you know that much, you need to be at church teaching others. And same thing here. if you're really the super trucker that knows it all, instead of coming on here and taking a shot at me, why don't you share your knowledge and experience with everybody else? Maybe they'll become as good as you think you are at some point. Poplar's channel member. I don't know, man. I hope I'm not asleep here in 7 minutes, but I've been up since 2 a.m.-ish. I think it's funny that people say my voice is relaxing, soothing, and that one guy said his wife goes to sleep listening to my voice because it's soothing. I think that's pretty cool. I think that guy probably meant it as an insult, but whatever my video does for you, I've had guys say it keeps them awake, that they purposefully watch the replay because it keeps them at night while they're driving. And I'm cool with that. I'd just say turn the screen where you can't see it. I don't want you to get a distracted driving ticket. And so I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad you're watching, but don't get yourself a ticket. If there's something visual that you need to see, I'll warn you in advance, and you can come back and watch that part of the video later or whatever. But most of the time, it's just me talking. Occasionally, we'll have a guest on here, and you can listen like it's a podcast while you're driving. And eventually, there will be a podcast, so you don't have to turn the screen even. You can just listen while you drive. But I'm so glad each and every one of you is here tonight for sure. Poplar's channel member would definitely like to catch live for once as opposed to replay. Yeah, while I appreciate the replay gang, and I'm glad y'all leave comments there and I respond, it really helps me when y'all show up at the lives because I can tell you about my week in 10 minutes. And then we can learn about your week. Perhaps you went through something you can share that'll help other people, or it might even help me. So I like when y'all can come to the lives and the chat is active like this. It makes for a better show. I've said many, many times, it's funny because half of you think I'm this egomaniac, and half of you think that I'm too humble. So I've said many times that I could not do this show without you, and that's very true. Your input's what keeps it going and decides if we have a 30-minute show or a 2.5-hour show. We've had shows that went over 4 hours before, and it just depends on what's going on that night, who's here, how the conversation's flowing. But if y'all weren't here, if y'all didn't show up week after week, day after day, become channel members, support the channels, it'd just be me here talking to myself, and that's no fun. So I do appreciate every one of you being here, and I kind of live vicariously through you. I mean, people that are in the really inner circle, I'll talk about y'all all the time. I won't mention your name, but I'll say, hey, I got this friend, and I do consider most of you friends, that he just bought a house this week, or he just took his motorcycle here, or he went on vacation there. And so it's kind of cool to share with y'all what's going on in my life, and y'all share with me what's going on in your life. And I actually look forward to it. Now, this week has been crazy. And when y'all called, I didn't look forward to every phone call. I was like, man, I've got all these Luma modules to watch and all this stuff. This place did do something cool, though. When you watch the videos, you get points, and the points are convertible into Amazon gift cards. So just doing the orientation videos, I got $100 Amazon gift card, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. I've never been at a company did that, and so something different, and I couldn't get it to work. And that funny guy that sits beside me, he showed me how to get the gift card loaded on my Amazon account, and it's been a fun orientation. It's the first one I've ever gone to that we didn't have one person that was constantly embellishing and telling stupid stories. For the most part, I did hear a couple of dumb questions. They said there's no dumb questions. I beg to differ. I heard a couple. But for the most part, everybody was respectful. Everybody came to class on time. Everybody seemed to have a pretty good understanding of what they were doing. Um, and so, at first I didn't think so. I thought about 40% of these people won't be here in 30 days. And as we went along, it got a little better. And I thought, maybe we'll see. And our newest channel member, Rayson Ray, who's also a moderator, said, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." Good evening, Rayson Ray. Thank you for being here tonight. And Blue Shadow, who's a moderator, says, "Hello, everyone. Hope all is going well. Good luck with the new company." I appreciate that. This week's been tough. I've had some trolls, and I knew I was going to, because if I had do anything in my life that it sounds like I'm happy or making a change, they can't stand it. One extreme or the other. If I said, I had a boring week, nothing happened, then they're cool with that. But if I say, man, this was the best week of my life, here they come. Or, wow, this was the worst week of my life. I mean, they can't stop celebrating. And I try to think of what it must be like to be them and live in their world. I can't imagine ever living and wishing bad on people, because my life was so miserable. Even on my worst weeks and darkest times, I'm still wishing the best for you guys and gals. And I'm still taking your phone calls and trying to help any way I can. And I just think it makes you a lot happier person. But I mean, like I said, I know of 2 or 3 accounts, at least 2, that they're planning to put out hit jobs on me tonight. One of them's going to make up stuff and say I abandoned my equipment, which is not true. I took it to Dallas. And so I know what the other one's going to say as well. I texted him and tried to extend an olive branch, work things out with him behind the scenes. But I believe that he's got a video coming out about me later tonight. And good on him if that's what he wants to do. Hey, here's another longtime friend, Brennan Ball. I can't ever say your last name right. Good friend of mine says, hey, good to see you again. A lot of you that are really good friends that you hadn't talked to me lately, it's just because the last 6 or 7 days have been so hectic, really since last Friday. So, or this past Friday is the way to say that. But now that things are slowing down a little bit while I'm sitting here waiting for a truck, hopefully I can get some of y'all called and kind of see how things are going in your worlds. And Poplar's channel member, I'm here and I can see and hear you now. That's awesome. That guy that sits beside me in orientation, he thought I was doing the live last night. And this morning, he's like, man, Todd, I kept checking and I didn't see the live. And he had misunderstood me. The video I released this morning, I told him I was going to be recording it last night. And he thought I was doing a live last night. So I'm pretty sure he's in there or in here watching tonight. I don't know if he'll comment or not. I did ask everybody in orientation to not come on here and say where I'm working yet. And so hopefully they'll honor that. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Glad you got your safety vest on in your Airbnb. Yes, sir. I ran in here. I had my arms full, just threw everything down, set the laptop up, and here we go. I can take it off, though. And they gave us some merch today, too. And I'll probably wear it in the video where I say where I'm working. I don't know, I'm thinking about wearing it tomorrow. And if I wear it tomorrow, I won't be able to wear it in that video because it'll need to be washed. But you never know. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I don't know what's going to happen from day to day right now. Brennan says, hope you're doing better here. Me too. they've said and done some things so far that make me really, really optimistic. And, if I was going to throw some rocks, there's some things I don't like. Some of their fixed expenses and variable expenses are a little higher than I'd like. Their fuel card appears to be really, really good. And so, any company's going to be good and bad. And look, I'll go ahead and tell every one of you right now, I don't know that this company could ever be as good as the one I left. But sometimes you've got to retreat a little bit and regroup. And, I've already seen the comments, "Oh, Todd, you failed. You're a failure." I guess I don't view myself that way. I don't view this as a failure, this transition. I do view it as a learning experience. And I think that it's only a failure if I don't learn from past successes and failures. So that's what I would say about that. If I had SRO Logistics to do over again, would I do a couple of things different? Yeah, probably. If I had the past 5 years of my life since I've been in the YouTube world, 4.5 years or whatever, would I have done some things differently? Yeah, but we all would. If we're being honest and if we're really looking at our lives in the correct way, we've all got regret. We've all got things we wish we would have done differently. We've all got things we're proud of and we're glad we did the way we did. And so I'm definitely not feeling like I failed or I'm a failure. I think it was a learning experience. I think I've grown from it. And I'm not expecting this company to be as good as what I had at SRO. Now, it may develop into that at some point, but SRO is a good outfit. I'm still going to say that. I still think that way. I've got a good friend that he was debating if he should come over here with me, hates the company he's at, or if he should go over to SRO Logistics. And I told him it's not going to affect our friendship. I'm not going to think less of you. If you go to SRO, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a good company. You're going to do well over there because he's a smart guy. I said, if you come over here, so far, my first impression of them's pretty good. I'm 2 days in. I may think differently in a few weeks, but so far, I think they're both great options. I like SRO Logistics because of the freedom you have there. But quite honestly, my truck was just nickel and diming me to death and just couldn't seem to catch a break on it. And sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. And we got to that point where I knew it was time to walk away. And I hated to do it. And I knew the trolls were going to come out and say what they say. But at the end of the day, you got to live your life for what you think's best for you and your family, and not what you think is what the critics think you should do. And I see so many people that call me and they're like, "Man, Todd, I'd like to go to Swift, but people are going to laugh at me." Or, "Man, Todd, I'd like to be a company driver, but I think people are going to laugh at me." And, when I hear that, I think about high school, because when you're in high school, you spend so much time worrying about what everybody thinks about you, your friends, your enemies, what's your reputation in school. And then you get out of school, and those same people that you were worried about what they thought about you, you never see again, or it's 30 years before you see them again. And their life didn't turn out near as well as you thought it would, or your life didn't turn out as well as you thought it would. So did it really matter what those people thought back then? And does it really matter that people that don't care about me at all have something negative to say? Now, I'm not talking about you guys. There's some people in this room right now that really, really care about me and have supported me financially through becoming channel members. They've supported me privately by praying for me, or with an email or a text message. So there's definitely a large percentage of people in this room right now that really care. They're really interested. And that's why I try to be patient and answer all your questions and things like that. But just know the critics of me or the critics of you, most of them don't care about you or me. We're just entertainment for them. And so you can't let them get under your skin, hurt your feelings, or nothing like that. Because, I mean, if you died tomorrow, they'd forget who you were in 3 weeks. And I saw a lot of that when I had my strokes. When I stopped making trucking videos, people disappeared. Now, some of them are starting to come back. Some of them were there all along. And not all of it's because they don't care. Some of it is because, it's an awkward situation. They don't know what to say. But either way, I'm glad to have them here. And Kevin Patterson joining us tonight. He says, good evening, brother. Good evening, Kevin. Glad to have you back. And Steve is here. Says, hey, y'all. Hello, Steve. Thank you for coming in. And Travis Jones. Hey, Todd. Travis here checking in from Kansas City. Congrats on the new trucking company. Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Thank you for bringing that up, Travis. I was in a weird predicament because with that accident being 2.5 years old, some companies wanted it to be 3 years old. Some people wanted, or most companies, I would say, wanted it to be 5 years old. And the second whammy in that situation was where I live. Living in Lubbock, Texas, probably a dozen companies I talked to said, we just can't hire you where you live. If you move to Dallas, you got a job. And so I had about 3 approvals when all the dust settled. And of the 3, I felt like the company I'm at now is the best. I'm not ever going to get on here and tell you it's the best company ever. It's the best kept secret in trucking. None of that. I'm just going to tell you that 2 days in, I'm pretty impressed. I talked to several department people, and I was impressed with each and every one of them. The guy that ran orientation was a former DOT officer, former military, very smart guy, and ran a good class. It wasn't too serious. It wasn't confrontational. I've been in orientation classes where, it was like a college classroom. They were hitting you with questions and you better give the answer they wanted. And this wasn't like that. We were able to joke around, have a good time. It was still structured. He didn't let it get out of control, but it wasn't so tense that you couldn't have fun. And so I really appreciated his style of orientation. And I'm going to talk to him at some point about coming on the show. I did talk to my recruiter about coming on the show, and she's shy in front of cameras. She said she didn't want to be in front of the camera. So I'm going to try to find somebody from the company that can come on here and answer your questions within the next few weeks, because I definitely don't have all the answers. I know what I know for my specific situation, but like they've got regional accounts and things like that. I'm just doing OTR, and so I'm probably not the expert. There's definitely people that know more than me, and I'm going to try to get them on here to talk to you. Brennan says, technology at its finest. Gotta love it. Yes, sir. Yeah, Technical Tuesday. I don't get to do these shows as much. Now that I took care of my cellular problem, I'm going to be able to do a lot more. Tonight, I've got AT&T running. It's doing well. And so I've got T-Mobile as a backup. And so my 2 networks tonight are AT&T and T-Mobile. Within the next few days, I'll also have Verizon. And so I'll have all 3 networks. The Verizon is not through this company I just promoted. And so it's going to be capped at 5 megabits per second. And I'll just have to test it and see how well it does doing these live streams and stuff like that, if I can use it for gaming or things like that. Corey Oatley, I'll rejoin right now if you name the company. Yes, sir. Well, go ahead and rejoin, and within the next few days, I'll name the company. That's good, Corey. I like that. And Brennan, I'm in Michigan on my way to Rhinelander. I can't say that I know where that is. I should know where it is, but I don't. Is things better for you though since we talked the other day? Well, you know what? Don't say on here. I'll give you a call tomorrow. But I've been wondering about y'all. Brennan and I should be in bed now, but I had to use the bathroom and my notification went off. So I joined the video. Well, I appreciate you coming in, even if you can't stay for the whole thing. We got 39 in here tonight so far. So I know some are dropping off and coming back. So we may have a pretty long show tonight. I'm okay with it since I don't have to be in the office till noon tomorrow. Any questions other than where I'm working, I'll be happy to answer, and we'll take it from there. But I'm glad you could come in. Used to be using every one of them, and then you got busy, your work schedule changed, and you weren't able to come in as much for a while. But I'm glad you're back in now. Yeah, Trent says that a podcast would be cool. So I'll tell you where I'm at on podcasts. I just started listening to podcasts a couple of months ago, and I know almost nothing about them except I need to do one. I've got a classmate I went to high school with that has a podcast, and it's very professionally done, and she's very knowledgeable. And I need to ask her a couple of questions. What would be great is if I could simulcast this and the podcast at the same time. If I have to make a totally separate show for the podcast, that's going to be a little bit different because I got to write a script and all of that. And in that case, we might only do one a week or one a month or something like that. At one point in time, I made more off of YouTube and all the ancillary stuff than I did driving. That's not the case right now. It's not even close. I do okay with YouTube, but nothing near that. So trucking, driving has to be first. And YouTube, I have to do it as often as I can. But if I lose the trucking, YouTube would not pay all the bills, not even close. So I'm trying to chase two rabbits at the same time right now. But I hope at some point we can have that podcast. And I don't think it'll be too much longer. I've just, because of my lack of knowledge, I got to learn a little more about it first. Hey, check it out. Let me see if I can put that on screen. I'm going to have to go down here. Give me just a second. Corey Oatley just became a channel member. Thank you for joining us again, sir. I appreciate it. And believe me, very soon I'll be revealing where I'm at. And Brennan says, teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, sir, it sure does. They were even talking about that in class today. If you've got a problem and you think, man, I can fix this, a problem gets so much easier to solve when you throw a couple of minds in there, because sometimes somebody else in your group may think of something that you never thought of before. And so it's a good idea to do that, to, sometimes get some different views in there. Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, does that pretty often. He'll put people in his cabinet and in his advisory positions that he knows are going to disagree with him because he wants to hear other opinions. He doesn't want 12 yes men or yes women around him that are just going to say, yes, sir, that's a great idea. And so anytime you can have collaboration, it's good. And that's why I'm going to be bringing some people on. I know I've been saying it for a while. I finally got the internet situation fixed, that maybe we agree on 80% of stuff, but there's going to be 20% we disagree on, and you can hear both sides and you can decide, how you feel about it. Now, And then we may go to some people that have more disagreements with me. I used to be a great debater. And quite frankly, I haven't tried it very much since the strokes. And so I want to start with somebody that just mildly disagrees with me on a couple of things. And then we'll work up to people that really have some strong disagreements with me, and we can take a look at those. Bobby Brown, or no, yeah, Bobby Brown. Why are you wearing the high vis vest? So when I got out of class today, I had to do some running. My hands were full. I threw it on because it was easier to carry. I didn't want to drop it in the dirt parking lot or nothing like that. And I meant to take it off when I got in here, but instead I ended up spending all my time looking for the mouse for my computer, which I still hadn't found. I think it's out in the rental car. And I just didn't get it off. It eventually got to a point where it bothered the viewers enough. I went ahead and took it off. But y'all really should have had me keep it on, because if I get up to go do something, it's got the name of the company on the back of it. They gave us a vest today. They gave us a shirt today and a hat today. They gave us a canvas bag with a bunch of stuff the other day. And in the employee store, we've got a $600 credit if we need it to get GPSs or jackets or tools or things we need to be successful. I don't anticipate buying a lot of stuff. I did go in there and look today because I had to pick up my shirt and my hat. But, man, trust me, I'm not even scratching the surface about this company, though. I'm really looking forward to sharing all that with you, but I just don't think tonight's the time or place to do that. I'll probably do it in a recorded video, maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Probably Thursday is when that'll come out, Thursday or Friday. We'll see how the week shakes down. The problem I'm having is just not knowing when my truck's going to be here. It makes it hard to plan when I'm going to release stuff, because man, it'd be cool if one day I could tell you where I went, why I went there, and tell you all the little things I haven't told you yet. And then the next day release a video and show you my truck, which one I selected. And then maybe the next day talk about my first load and how that went. And so that's kind of the plan. We'll see how it shakes down, though. The best laid plans, you know how that goes. Bobby Brown, you a super trucker with vests on, don't get it. Yeah, I'm a lot of things. I wouldn't say I'm a super trucker. But I had no idea that the high vis vest would offend so many people. Some of the people in this group are so emotional. Poplar's channel member, I've been trying to look into other leases lately, and honestly, not a lot of them seem to measure up. Trucker Recruiter says on average, net is $1,400. Swift says $1,800. Yeah, I think a couple of things about that, and same thing's true with this company. It's real hard to give you a number just because of how the market is, and depending on where you run and how you run and everything like that. A couple of years ago, if you weren't making $2,500 a week, you were getting ripped off at whatever company you're at. Now there's a ton of companies where you'll make about $1,500 a week. Swift saying $1,800 is kind of on the low side. I think you can do a little better than that if you manage your fuel and everything. But all of these companies, if they're worth their salt, they'll lowball it a little bit, because it's better to tell you you'll make $1,800 and then you get there and you make $2,200 than it is to tell you make $2,500 and you get an $1,800 check. It's in sales, they call it under promising and over delivering. And I think some companies may be doing that just to protect themselves. Because what happens, you go out and you do a couple of weeks and you're going, man, these people lied to me. They said I was going to make this, and instead I only made this, and you quit. But you go to some company and they say, oh, you're only going to make $1,400. And then you get 1,800 and you're excited. You're like, wow, I'm doing even better than I thought. Now, having said all that, I would be extremely reluctant, and in my case, it's a deal breaker, to go to a foreign company, foreign owned company. If they're in Serbia or somewhere like that dispatching you, they can throw you under the bus and they're in another country. They're not going to get prosecuted. So, Trekker, I would be reluctant to go to. Most of the trucking companies that advertise on Facebook are foreign owned, and they're not great. Right now, they seem great because they're looking for English speaking drivers. But I would say just be real careful and continue to watch this channel, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I promise you. And I told him, the guy in orientation, he says, yeah, I know who you are. I watch your videos. I said, man, I'm surprised you let me come to class if you've seen my videos. He said, no, Todd. He said, that's why I like you, because I know you're going to tell the truth. He said, if we do the right thing, you're going to do the right thing. And he said, if we do the wrong thing, you're going to call us on it. And so I thought that was pretty cool that they hired me knowing that I'm going to come in here and be an umpire. I'm going to call balls and strikes. But if they're doing the right thing, if they're trying to do the right thing, I'm going to be fair to them. Right now, I mean, I left SRO Logistics. A lot of guys would bash that company, whether it was deserved or not. That's not me. SRO Logistics was good to me. It was a real good place for me to work until it wasn't. And it wasn't because of him or his policies necessarily, as much as it was the truck just nickeled and dimed me to death. And that wasn't his fault either. So why would I come on here and trash the company? I mean, it'd be good for the videos. I'd probably get a lot of clicks if I got on here and said bad things about him. But you guys, for 4.5 years, have trusted me to tell the truth. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you the truth. Might not always be what you want to hear, but you can bet it's the truth. Brennan, nice. What do you plan on buying? So I'm not buying anything right now. I couldn't buy a bologna sandwich right now. I'll be running a lease purchase truck. They are paying me during my downtime here while I'm waiting for a truck, taking care of my hotel. I got a rental car that I'm able to use at my leisure. And so they're taking really good care of me. Tomorrow I've got to show up at the office for about an hour, and the rest of the day is mine. And so, not buying anything right now for sure. The goal, a lot of people said, Todd, what's your goal now? The goal is to do what I tell y'all to do. Work hard and develop a nest egg. And, you know, leaving SRO Logistics was definitely a retreat. I needed to retreat and regroup, and that's what I'm doing right now. And so I'll be back, but for now, this is what I'm doing. And when I say I'll be back, I may be back right here where I'm at. That may be what back is. But it's going to take a little while. The problems I'm facing right now didn't happen overnight, and they're not going to get cured overnight. It was months and months of nickel and diamond with the truck that got me behind and was honestly stressing me out. And so I'm relaxed right now. I think you can see it in this video. My shoulders, I'm seeing my shoulders. They look relaxed. My face looks relaxed. I'm sleeping better at night. And I think for my health, especially in the long run, this is going to be a big positive thing. Let's get down here. Got some good news for everybody. If my deal will work. What in the world? Why won't my... Hang on a second. I got to take care of something. Okay, good. Somebody else already took care of it. Let me go ahead and fix that another way too. Hang on just a second. All right, I'm back. I'm trying to find it, Robbie Ross. Let me see if I can get it up here. All right, I'm almost there, folks. Channel member and moderator Robbie Ross with the $20. I think that's a super chat. Tough loss. We had a chance against the champs. Giants will help us to 1-1 this week. Glad football is back. Yes, sir. Me too. And I actually got to watch a little bit of it. Not as much as I would have liked, but Bobby Brown, never seen this guy before. Well, I'm glad to have you here. If it's your first time, welcome. Generally, what we do is we talk about whatever's on y'all's mind. I tell you about my week, and it's okay to disagree with me as long as we can keep it respectful. I'm not going to ridicule you or put you down if you've got a comment that I disagree with, and hopefully you'll be respectful as well. If somebody makes a comment that you think you can help them, we definitely appreciate all the help in here. Poplar's channel member and taxes still got to come out of that. And since I got back into trucking this past January, I'm making exactly that with benefits. I wish I could find one that seems to be worth it. I think that's true for everybody, though. The market is just in the tank. The rates are in the tank. And look, everybody's failing. Big companies are closing their doors, like Carol Fulmer, that have been around for decades. One truck operations are definitely taking a hit. It's just tough times. Now, I can tell you my last week of running the spot market, the rates looked a lot better. And I think it's because of the ELP, English language proficiency checks they're doing. We're getting some of those drivers off the road, and it's making things better. But look, a lot of things are happening in the government that are going to be positive for the country, but it's like turning around the Titanic. It takes time. It's not something that happens in a week or two. It takes months and sometimes years for those things to take effect. I don't think it's going to take that long for trucking to rebound, but I do think we got to exercise some patience. Brennan, I'm really sick and tired of all the lease companies and owner ops saying that they follow California and they can't hire anyone from Illinois. The problem is AB5. It scared the states or the trucking companies so bad that if it's a blue state, they're scared to lease to them. Now, I do think where I work now might take you, and that's something I want to talk to you about privately tomorrow. And you can kind of do your research and vet them and see what you think. And each day I'm going to have a little more knowledge I can share. But in your situation, we need to find you something good and quick. And so hopefully tomorrow you and I can have a conversation. Poplar's channel member. Also, I really hope this works out for you. Well, I appreciate that. I hope it does too. I appreciate you coming in here and watching. That's something else that helps. There's two things that help me. The trolls coming in here and saying their stupid things, and we've already had to moderate a couple of them out tonight because I go, well, I'll show them. They think it'll discourage me and me go, I give up, I'm going home. No, it encourages me. And the other thing that it encourages me is people like you that are saying, hey, Todd, I really hope this works. I'm praying for you. Uh, things like that. I've had people contact me and say, hey, my church is praying for you. I want you to do well, especially when I had the strokes. I had a lot of churches that were praying for me. And it's kind of like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the comedian John Panette. He's dead now, but he's freaking hilarious. And he talks about, he's kind of a chunk, well, he's a very heavy set guy. And he's wearing a white suit. And he's trying to ski down a mountain, and he falls, and a bunch of kids come up, and they think he's Frosty the Snowman. And he's laying there in the snow, and he's in pain, thinking he's broke some bones. And he's like, I've got to get up. Those kids, if they think Frosty's dead, it'll ruin Christmas forever. And it's kind of the same thing here. When you guys get on here and encourage me, or even you trolls, when you get on here and troll and do what you do, it just encourages me. It's like, I got to keep going. There's people that are watching me that look to me to be optimistic so they can be optimistic. And so I've got to keep going. And so I want to say thank you again. That's kind of what this video is turning into, is a big thank you for everything you've done. Oh, boy. I'm going to go ahead and read this one. I don't know if the moderators took it out or not. Let me go up and look and see. We got a lot of them in here. Okay, I'm going to read this one. Here's a troll, Fate Trekking. Be honest, you're lying. Can you tell me what I'm lying about? Be more specific. I'm going to go ahead and read this one. They took it out. I'm going to bring it back up. So one of the comments that got taken off, I'm going to bring it back up. Give me just a second. Skip down to do that super chat, and I'll get back to where we were. This is Trent. This is the guy that was sitting beside me in class. We was talking about the orientation instructor, and he called him Alabama Reacher. That was pretty funny. It, like I said, he had me laughing for the 2 days we was in class together. He's a good dude, and I think he's going to do really well here. He's waiting on a truck like I am. And I think we've both got plans to go get breakfast in the morning around 10. I think's what we're doing. All righty, here's the next one. Smart Elect. Evening, hard to watch lives, but always watching any replays I can. Thanks for all you do info-wise. You help burn the miles out here. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I appreciate you watching and coming in and commenting tonight. Good to see you. I know you hadn't been able to comment before, but I'm glad to have you here now. And Steve P says, good evening. Ted Van Buskirk. Hello, sir. Glad to see you on here. Well, thank you for coming in tonight. How are things going for you? Trent says, you're streaming good now. I appreciate that. I had good data speeds tonight, and the last few weeks I've had a lot of problems with internet connection. Like I said, I finally got that under control, and I think the videos are going to get a lot better. I don't know if you've tried our hotel Wi-Fi, but it's awful. it's like the download's like 2 megabits per second, and the upload's like under 1. I had no chance of it working on there. And Rose, hey, it's good to see you again. I hadn't talked to you in a while on here. Glad you could make it in tonight. She says, hi, Todd. Hope all is well. Yeah, doing good. Thank you. So I'm going to read this next comment for the most part. I'm going to leave part of it out. He says, I can't believe you left your truck in Dallas after all that he did for you. Not cool. I left the truck in Dallas because he asked me to leave the truck in Dallas. I devoted a whole day to going to Dallas and dropping the trailer at a location of his choosing. I did not have an abandonment or anything like that. As far as returning the truck, what other option was it? Would you have preferred that I hit it and not paid for it? Would you have preferred that I vandalized it? Or would you have preferred that I took it back to the location of his choosing? Just let me know. I'm anxious to see how you would have handled that situation. And Brennan says, well, got to get back to sleep. Hope it all works out for you here. Definitely give me a call. Hope everyone has a great night. Thanks for coming in tonight, Brennan. Sorry, I didn't get your comment up there. There you go. And yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night, my friend. I'm glad to have you, Corey Oatley, new channel member. Okay, you twisted my arm. I'm a subscriber again. I'm glad to have you back, my friend. It wasn't the same without you. So it's good to have you here again with us. What I should do, y'all tell me what you think about this. I think I know how this is going to go. Should I reveal where I'm working in a channel members only exclusive video, or should I put it out here for everybody to see? Let me know in the comments. Corey Oatley, channel member, I'd love to see a good lease program. I hope you go crazy with it. Well, I'm not far from being crazy now, so good or bad, it'll probably drive me crazy. But man, this one, it's like all of them. I could tell you 10 great things about it, and I could tell you 10 bad things about it. And I'll do that at some point. And, people will say, oh, that company's trying to help you and you're trashing them. And some people will say, oh, you're just a fanboy. You like everywhere you go. And all it is me trying to be honest with everybody. It's true of anything. The car sitting in your driveway at home right now, there's probably 10 things you like about it and 10 things you don't like about it. Same thing with your house. Same thing with your spouse. Everything in your life, there's probably 10 things you like about it and 10 things you don't. It doesn't mean that you're being dishonest or tricking anybody. It's just a fact. And that's my job, to be a umpire and call it like I see it. Trent says, start with Reacher. Yeah, I talked about him earlier. I'll be honest. I've got his name and phone number saved in my phone. I honestly don't remember his name. But yeah, I'm going to have to watch Jack Reacher now. I've never seen it. That's funny. And what was funny was he thought it was funny when you called him that. But I told him first day of class, I said, I'm never going to challenge you to an arm wrestling match. He goes, oh, these are just for show. And I'm like, yeah, right. Poplar's channel member, Trucker used to be Earl Henderson. I don't think it's actually foreign owned. See, I did not know that. I thought Trucker was overseas. I guess I'm guilty of judging a book by its cover, and I just assumed that. I need to do a little research on them. I did a video recently on Hurricane. It got a ton of views. I think it's over 8,000 views now, right around 8,000 views. And maybe I need to do one on Trucker. I've done a lot of those videos, and they always do real well. But the problem with doing them is people don't listen. In the first 30 seconds of the video, I say, I never worked at this place. viewers asked me to review it, and that's what I'm doing. And they don't look at that. They just look and see a company name and me, and they go, oh, Todd works there. He job hops a lot. And no, I've never worked at Hurricane. I've never worked at Schneider, never worked at JB Hunt. But if I do a review video, I've never worked at Walmart. Well, I've worked at a retail store. I've never drove a truck for Walmart. And so, you know, I'm reluctant to do them because then I get 50 people going, oh, you're job hopping. And so, but I may have to check Trucker out. I did not realize they used to be Earl Henderson, and give you guys my thoughts on them. I'm going to have some time in the next few days, looks like. Poplar's channel member, also you say that, and I'm at GP Transco right now. Yeah, I had an ex-friend that used to, or was working there when we stopped talking. That's the name of the company. We were sitting in class and somebody goes, the company with those aqua colored trucks that, and we were trying our best to think of who it was. Hey, Trent, I think it was Trent I was talking to. It was GP Transco. Poplar's channel member, I could definitely be wrong about Trucker, though admittedly, I suppose I haven't looked too deeply at that. Well, and that's something I want to say too. That's part of my reluctance of just going hog wild here and promoting this company is I didn't do my normal level of research. I knew that I needed to make a change. I knew it Friday when I did the Friday live, and I didn't want to say anything publicly until I had made my move. But I didn't do my normal level of research and vetting that I would typically do when I change jobs. I literally threw my application out everywhere, and of the approvals I got, I picked the best one, or what I felt was the best one. A couple of my friends had suggested this company and said that it was high on their list if they ever needed another place to work. And I made my decision off of that. And I hope it's a good one, but it was definitely a little bit of a gamble. Kid behind the wheel, everything will work itself out. Good to see you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your words of encouragement for sure. Those that talked to me this week, especially when I was driving over here, know that I was extremely nervous. I always am when I start a new job. It's not something I enjoy doing. Basically, if you subtract out the stroke, I was with Scott almost 2 years and thought I was going to be there for the rest of my trucking time. And had I had a little bit newer truck or a little bit nicer truck, I probably would have been. Red Raider Reloading moderator, thank you for being here tonight. He says, guess I made part of the live show. Yes, sir. Good to have you in here. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. I have not seen any stats on the English proficiency parking drivers. If you watch Trucking Made Successful, Miranda has put that information out several times. It's not as astonishing of a number as what you might think. The one I saw, it was 800 and something people, but that was before they started doing the ICE agents at the way stations and things like that. And so there will be some new information coming out very soon about that. But yeah, Trucking Made Successful is a great channel for average rates across the country. She puts out really good information with charts and graphs, and she also talks about ELP and all of that. Todd Packer, does the new company have recruitment bonuses? I think pretty much every trucking company has some form of recruitment bonus. They did go over that today in class. I missed most of it. I was in the bathroom. I can't tell you exactly what it is or how it pays out or nothing like that. I don't go to companies for recruiting bonuses. I I mean, it's a nice deal, but it's a bonus. It's not the reason you pick a company. And so, whatever it is, I'm fine with. But it's not the reason I go to companies. And I didn't even ask my recruiter about it. Uh, my first exposure to it, or if I did, I don't remember what she said. My first real exposure of it was today. And I walked in like literally the last 10 seconds of it. So I'm not an expert on it. When I reveal where it's at, you're welcome to call the recruiter and find out if that's something you're interested in. If recruitment bonuses are what bring you into a company, then you can do that. To me, like I said, it's a bonus. I can drive the truck. I can be efficient with it. I know what I'm doing after 28 years. And so it's not something that holds me up. Ted Van Buskirk, I'm still, good grief, I can't talk. I am good, still looking for something good. Yes, sir, I think I might have it for you. I'm also going to that's what I'm going to do the next couple of days is try to call. I got a handful of you that you're in really tough situations, or you're not in a tough situation, but you need to make a change. And I'm going to talk to you and give you the details over here. And I'm not doing that to recruit you necessarily. You may see holes in what I'm doing. Hey, Todd, did you think about this? This might not be a good idea. Or, hey, Todd, did you think about this? This might be a great idea. And so I'm going to call you, and you may determine that it's a good fit for you, or you may determine it's not a good fit for you. But with where you live and everything, I think this might be the answer that you've been looking for. Red Raider Reloading moderator got stuck in a wreck on I-35 now, unloading in Dallas. Man, it seems like there's always a wreck over there. When me and my uncle were going to Dallas to return the truck and trailer, I can't tell you how many wrecks we saw. It was one right after another. Held us up over an hour and a half, even taking detours and stuff. We thought we was going to get there about 5:30. It was almost 7 when we got there, and said that or turned that stuff in. It worked out to be a late night. I think we got back to Lubbock around 3 a.m., 2:30 or 3 a.m., something like that. Ted Van Buskirk, I already know. Yes, sir, but I've got more information. I was kind of learning as I go. And I think I talked to you last right before I started. So I literally knew nothing. And now I know a little more, or next to nothing. And now I know a little more. So I want to circle back around and talk to you again about it. Poplar's channel member. No, I'm not rich enough for channel members only. I didn't want to have to run another 3060 mile week. Yes, sir. Well, you're a channel member, so you would get it for free if I did a channel members only. And then I guess the channel members could tell everybody, but I'll probably put it out for everybody. I don't want to tease everybody any longer than we have to. Craig Hutchinson, channel member. Hey, Trucker Todd. Hey, Craig. Thanks for coming in again. Good to see you. Red Raider Reloading, channel member, or no, moderator. I'm sorry. I know where you're at, LOL. Yes, sir. You sure do. Todd Packers. One thing I've noticed about YouTube lease truckers is they can never stay at one company too long. Always think the grass is greener. Common theme. Fly Rabbit Coach, and Todd. Well, like I said, with the exception of the stroke, I was at Scott's for almost 2 years. I think I've had 3 trucking jobs in the past 3 years. A lot of the applications I did when I was looking for this company asked if you had had more than 3 jobs in the past 2 years. And so I'm assuming that's the average. Uh, I'm kind of at an unfair advantage here because I don't know who Todd Packer is. He doesn't have a picture up, nothing like that. So I don't know his work history or nothing like that. But I would say since COVID, that a lot of drivers have changed jobs maybe more than they did in the past. And I would say that I don't fit the mold of those people that you compared me to there. For example, Fly Rabbit has had something like 18 job changes in the past 2 years, and Coach has had something like 14 or 15 in the past 2 years. So they've had more in the past 2 years than I've had in the past 10 years. And so I don't think I fit that category. So what I would call your comment is a swing and a miss. And you can take that for what you want to. I would also add to that I think it's pretty cowardly to come on here and say stuff like that when you're not even brave enough to show your picture. It's one thing to not have your picture on here, but if you're going to come on here and run your mouth, put your picture up. Let's see who you are. You're not going to do that, Todd Packer, because you're a bottom feeder. I'll just go ahead and say it. Craig Hutchison, channel member. Oh, man, you need to watch the Jack Reacher movies, then watch the TV series. Well, I'm probably going to have some time the next few days. I'll try to get that done. Gary Cook. Hello, Todd. Hello, Gary Cook. Thank you for being here tonight, my friend. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. I thought about boosting numbers tonight, been using my moderator superpowers. I'm afraid wrong peeps will get a membership. Yeah, we've had a few in here tonight. I appreciate you taking care of them. It's okay if they want to come in here and disagree with me. But if they're going to say stupid things like compare me to Coach or compare me to Fly Rabbit or something like that, they need to have the facts to back it up. And I don't think the numbers support it. I don't think the facts support it. Or if they're going to say that I abandoned my equipment, I knew that was coming. That's just false. You can contact whoever you want to contact that's in the know. It didn't happen. I returned the truck at a huge inconvenience to myself because it was the right thing to do. And today, as a matter of fact, I mailed the permit book and the ELD and all of that back to SRO Logistics, the fuel card, the license plate. So, the job did end, but it didn't end with me intentionally burning somebody. Unfortunately, when you finance a vehicle, sometimes you don't make it to term. Sometimes, especially in businesses rise and fall all the time. Carol Fulmer went out of business. Is anybody thinking he paid all of his stuff? No, he went out of business because he had lawsuits that were eating him alive. It happens, especially in this market. Something like 300 and something trucking companies a week are going under right now. It happens. It's unfortunate, but to turn around and say that some of the stuff that's being said out there, it really ticks me off. And it's coming from a bunch of bottom feeder cowards that would never say those things to my face. I know it and they know it. And they know it's not true. They're just trying to get a rise out of me. And it's not working, even though it seems like it is. I still got a grin on my face. Doggone it, I went too far. Hang on. Gary Cook, that's what I said about advanced trucking. I thought I was going to retire from. Oh, well, trucking goes on. Yeah, it's just funny. There's so many hypocrites out here that they feel like they just got to put people down. And I mean, they'll quit their job and that's fine. They want you to mind your own business, but they want to come on here and compare me to people that have had more jobs in the last 6 months than I've had in the past 5 years. And I just don't think it's a fair comparison. And I'm not criticizing those guys. Maybe they had reasons, but one of them's been at a company 4 times in the past 2 years. What changed over those 4 times that he needed to do that? And so, again, not criticizing anybody. You do you. But I'm not in that league, not even close. In my worst days, I was nowhere near a dozen companies in 2 years or 20 companies in 2 years. That's not me. It'd be convenient for you guys if it was me, but it's not true. Steve Given. Hey, Todd. Sorry I'm late. No problem, my friend. Thank you for being here. Okay, Todd Packer, in order to comment, you got to do complete sentences that actually make sense. That comes with a good education. You might try to get one of those. He says Scott is not responsible to F. I don't recall saying anything about Scott being responsible for anything. So I'm not sure what that comment's about, but I've had text message conversations with Scott as recently as today. And I think Scott understands why I did what I did. And as far as I know, there's no hard feelings between us. Like I said, he and I have texted as recently as today. So again, another swing and a miss. But man, I just hope you don't get an English language proficiency test, because it seems like you really struggle with pronunciation, with doing your complete sentences and punctuation. That's what I was trying to say. Red Raider reloading. Moderator Sand. Poplar's channel member Coach, LOL. Yeah, since the beginning of when he came to Swift and I was there, people have tried to lump us together in one category. And, I'm not saying I'm better than him. I'm not saying I'm worse than him. I am saying I'm different than him. He and I do totally different things. And, I don't wish bad on him. But we're not best friends like a lot of people think. We don't talk regularly. He's got my number, I've got his, but we're not texting back and forth. We're not confidants, nothing like that. And I realize it'd be really cool if we were, because then all the trolls would have stuff they could talk about. But the problem is they don't want to deal in facts. They want to deal in what they wish was true. Red Raider Reloading, channel member, 10 years in November with my company. Yeah, the company you're working for, I wish I could get on over there. They take care of their drivers, and there's a lot of people there that's been there for a lot of years. And that's something else I'll say too. If you're at a bad company, why would you stay there? Just so nobody'd make fun of you, so nobody'd call you a job hopper? Why wouldn't you move to something better if you could? Now, if you're changing jobs 18 times or 20 times in 2 years, then the problem may not be the companies, it may be you. But if you've had 3 jobs in the past 3 years, and one of them was because you had a stroke, that's not severe, I don't think. If you want to ridicule me for that, I don't mean you, Red Raider, but if people want to ridicule me for being medically disqualified from driving for 7 months, then ridicule me. Somebody sent a comment earlier today making fun of me for working at AT&T while I was recovering from the stroke. What would they have rather I stayed home and collected welfare, or do they respect that I went out and worked during that time? I mean, the stuff people say, sometimes it's so stupid, I don't know how to respond to it. My mind can't go that low. Poplar's channel member, coach is a fool. How anyone still hires him is beyond me. Well, because I mean, he brings in the numbers. The spotlight's on when he's there. I bet Hirschbach gets a ton of attention while he's there. Now, I've said this before in other videos. I think Wildbeard over there gets them more of the kind of attention that they want. Wildbeard puts out good content. He represents the company well, and he'll be the first to tell you. He's not saying it's the best company that ever existed. He's saying for his personal situation, it fits his needs really well. He gets to see his son, and so a lot of times that's what it is. It's where you live and what you need out of a trucking company. I'm not saying where I'm at's a perfect fit for everybody, but based on my situation, on my circumstances, I think I've got a real good chance at success here. We'll see. I may be singing a different tune in 6 months. Todd Packer. So I know who Todd Packer is now. Scott is not responsible to pay your repairs. You should be a driver if that's how you think. Well, I don't think you can show me the video where I claimed Scott is responsible for paying my repairs. If you can, tell me the video and the timestamp of where I can go look at that. I don't think that video does exist. Having said that, I have said in videos that that was the first company I worked for that didn't help you out if your maintenance account got depleted. And that's not even true in his case. It is true that Scott did help in some situations. When that airbag blew, we found out that if we put the maintenance bill on his account, that we didn't get charged mileage. It made the bill cheaper. I believe he got a rate discount too. Having said that, there was also other drivers that worked for him that did the same thing. It wasn't just me. And so while I did not ever say that it was his responsibility, and you can't show me a video where I did, it is the first place I've ever worked where it was a big maybe. For example, the place I'm at now, if you get in a situation where your maintenance account's depleted, they help you out. They also they just increase your maintenance contribution until it gets paid back. Also, the trucks here are under factory warranty. That takes a lot of the stress and worry out of the situation. But I mean, Todd, I can tell you right now, based on your comments, you've never owned a truck, because you will reach a point at some point where it breaks down and it's more than what you can do. In most cases, there's some guys. I got a good friend that he's got enough money that if the truck burnt to the ground, he could buy another one. But that's rare, especially in this economy. I'm going to guess that you're probably not even a driver. Again, put your information up. Tell us who you are and tell the truth. Show us your picture. I don't think you'll do that because, honestly, I think you're a scumbag. I think you're a bottom feeder, and you're just on here trying to stir up trouble. Again, there's no beef between me and Scott. I know you wish they would because it'd make some YouTube drama, but Scott and I have had text conversations back and forth. He understands why I did what I did, and I don't think he harbors any hard feelings. But I don't think I'm going to be able to persuade you or change your mind, and you're welcome to think whatever you want to think. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. I have been a lease operator, been at the same company for 3 years. Truck will be paid off in a couple of weeks. Yeah, we've talked about Robbie Ross before. He works for Dart Transit, which they have an excellent lease purchase program. And it's very common there to meet drivers that have paid off equipment. So he's one of those drivers. He'll be paying his truck off in a couple of weeks. He's got some options before him. I think he's decided he's going to keep his for a while and upgrade later. But he's done very well over there. So I've done that several times. I've bought several trucks, and ideally, this was Steve Givens. He said, "Would you be better off just buying your own truck?" So ideally, yes, it's the cheapest way to do it. Sometimes there's some hindrances to that. Most people, the reason they don't buy is credit. I've got a lot of dealerships that if you got 5 or 10,000 down, they'll finance you a truck, and I've helped several people get trucks. Um, the problem is, well, for example, let's speak specifically on the truck I had. It was out of factory warranty. I did have an aftermarket warranty on it. The stuff that was nickel and diamond me was not stuff that was covered under warranty. And so, yeah, ideally, I would recommend, and I do recommend, there's videos recently where I said, hey, don't do a lease purchase. Go out and buy your own truck. That way, if it doesn't work out with the company you're at, you can move it to another company. But at some point, whether you buy a truck, whether you do a lease purchase, you're going to have a repair that you're going to need some help. And sometimes the dealership will help you. Sometimes the carrier will help you. Sometimes friends and family will help you. But no man's an island, and everybody's going to need help at some point. And the people that are saying, no, that's not true, are generally people that's never done it. They're just running their mouth. They're the kind that they sit on the sidelines and go, that's stupid, that'll never work. And they live miserable lives. Todd Packer, I would definitely say what I said to your face. Nothing I said is lies. You say that, but yet you won't show your face. Tell me who you are and show your face. You see who I am. You've got an unfair disadvantage. If you see me at a truck stop, and people have seen me at truck stops, you can recognize me as Trucker Todd. When I went to orientation, I got recognized. But I don't know who you are. So I'm coming on here and saying you're a coward and you won't show yourself. And you're saying you would meet me face to face. Well, it's time to show. Red Raider Reloading, channel member. Packer sounds like a Biden supporter. Know your facts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He is definitely a trucking Karen that, you know, he'll get on here and not like anything. You don't see him offering anything productive to the conversation. Todd's bad. Todd's a liar. He can't give you any specifics. And, you know, you don't have to go very far back in my videos to find SRO Logistics email address. I bet he didn't email SRO and try to get the facts. And I don't know that Scott would give them to him. But he's coming on here and he's saying what he wishes was true. And he's hoping some people will believe it. And a couple of will. A couple of low IQ people that are in here will read his comments and go, I wonder if there's some truth to that. But this Todd Packer that's on here talking crap right now, if he saw me at a truck stop, it'd be trying to buy me coffee and kiss my butt. Steve P., I would tell you more about me, but I'm driving in Ohio. Well, be careful out there. Poplar's channel member. All right, I'm off to bed. Got to sleep. I'll catch the rest on the replay. Thanks for hopping in, Poplars. It was good to see you again. And Red Raider Reloading. Have a good night, Poplars. Red Raider Reloading is a moderator. Oh boy, you really are clueless, Todd Packer. So he says you went to Scott, then some other company, back to Scott, now somewhere else. That's 4 in 2 years. So let's talk about that. Again, I guess if you get, I'd forgot about that company, but I guess if you get super technical, you're right. Let's talk about that. I was working for Scott, happy as a bug in a rug. had a stroke, went to AT&T and worked for 7 months because you had to be gone at least 6 months. They prefer a year, but I was doing so well in my stroke recovery, they let me come back after 7 months. Was supposed to go back to Scott. That was the plan. My truck burnt down in Mississippi the night before I was supposed to fly out and get it. So I had to find a job because there was no truck for me to get from Scott, right? So I did go to B&Z. I was there about 3.5 weeks. Scott helped put together this deal where I was able to buy a truck from an individual. And so I left that company and turned the truck in. I did not abandon it. And I went back to Scott, which was the plan all along. So technically, you're correct. A truck fire added one more company in there that I had completely forgot about. But the second I could go back to SRO, that was the plan all along. So, yeah, you are correct. There was another company in there, but it wasn't me job hopping. It wasn't because I wasn't successful at that other company. It's that I had always wanted to be back at SRO. I felt that was the best job I've ever had. To this point, it's still the best job I've ever had. I had freedom there. I made really good money. The truck I got nickeled and dimed me to death. And I don't care who you are. If you're lease purchase, if you buy from a dealer, it doesn't take but a couple of big breakdowns and any of us would be done. I know guys recently that have had to replace the one box on their truck. One guy spent like $25,000 and his truck was in the shop for a month. He was fortunate. His company gave him a loaner truck so he could keep working. Now, the same people that say it's not the company's jobs to help out with repairs don't seem to have a problem when a company rents them a truck, puts their credit on the line to rent them a truck. So it's just people that are ignorant and don't know. If you have a big enough breakdown, you're going to need somebody's help. Everybody runs out of money at some point. Red Raider reloading moderator. He did not, Packer. Well, he's you got to give him credit. He's swinging for the fences. He just keeps missing. Red Raider reloading moderator. When medically disqualified, you have to pay the bill somehow. So quit showing your yes, sir, rear end. So yeah, again, would Packer have more respect for me if I moved into government housing and if I got food stamps and welfare and laid around the house and felt sorry for myself? Or would he have more respect for me if I went out and tried to support myself as best as I could during that time? I mean, the whole time that I was out with the stroke, Scott and I were still communicating a couple times a month. The plan was always to go back. It was never to stay at AT&T permanently. AT&T knew I was planning to go back. The company that I went to for 3 weeks is the only one in the mess that did not know. But like I said, I still did the right thing. I had them schedule me back to St. Louis. I turned the truck in at their shop, and the guy that I bought the truck from picked me up or didn't pick. Yeah, he didn't pick me up. We met at Love's, and then he helped me drop the truck off at their shop because it's like 40 miles away or something. But again, I don't know. Some of these people, there's no pleasing them. Crud, I did it again. I got to find my mouse. I promise you, before I do another video, I'll find one. All right, here we go. Poplars, channel member coach goes to places, gets morons to follow him, and then those places change the contract because and makes them even worse. LOL. When I was at Prime, I was praying he didn't show up. Well, according to his latest video, he did go to Prime for like a few weeks and it didn't work out. Hang on a second. I got to go to the bathroom. Be right back. All righty, we're back. Let's hit the next comment. Poplar's channel member, you'd have a good thing going, and here's Coach to heck it all up. I don't know. I'm trying to think how I want to say this. I don't think he goes to companies trying to make them a circus, but it seems like there's so much hatred and animosity out there towards him that every company he goes to ends up being a circus. And it's a shame because people say back when he did his call-in show, it was before I watched him, that he actually helped a lot of people. And a lot of people would like him to return to those call-in shows. Now, he stopped them because the trolls started messing them up, is what I've heard. Like I said, that's before my time. I don't know the history. And a lot of people think there's animosity between me and him. And I'll just tell you, there's not on my part. I hope he goes somewhere and does well. But YouTube's a lot more fun with him around because it does create a circus-like environment. But I don't wish him bad. I don't hate him. Like I said, if I saw him at a truck stop, I'd probably say hi to him. There's no hard feelings on my part. I don't know about on his part. And Poplar's channel member, I never really go to bed immediately upon saying so. Well, at this point, we're at the almost 2-hour mark. I don't know how much longer we'll go. We still got 31 people in here. You might as well hang around, have a good time with us. I'm enjoying you being in here, Poplar, so I'll just be honest. I'm glad you're here. You've put in a lot of good comments tonight. Steve Given, did you mention the company you were with now? I was late coming in. No, probably going to do that in the next day or two. And again, I want to state, I'm not saying that this is a perfect company, that there's not a better company option out there, but I'm saying they've been really good to me. I was very impressed in orientation. They've taken very good care of me. I've met a lot of nice people, and I think they're worth taking a look at. They'll be the first to tell you that they've got things they need to work on, that they're not perfect, but that I think they're pretty good. And so it's not going to be SRO. I'm going to be dispatched. My lease payment, I don't know what it is because I still don't have a truck, but it's going to be significantly higher than what it was on the old Freightliner. But I had some obstacles I had to overcome: the accident, the stroke, things like that. And there was a few companies that were willing to take a chance on me. And of the options I had available to me, this was the best option. Some of you got some obstacles that are different from mine, but they're still obstacles. Maybe it's home time. Maybe it's where you live, like it is for me also, living in Lubbock. So this may be a great fit for you too. And some of you that come to mind quickly, I'm going to be contacting in the next 2 days and telling you what I've seen here that I think would be a fit for you, and what I've seen here that I think you wouldn't like. Not so I can recruit you, as some people have suggested in here, but so that you can have it on your radar. You can be aware of it. You can do your own research and see if it's a fit for you. I had 2 people today that were in pretty stressful situations. And so I did tell 2 people today, because they need something quick. They don't have days. They need to know something now. And so those 2 people got the information today. I know for a fact one of them called the recruiter. I don't know if the other one did or not. I'm sure he and I will be talking tomorrow. But if you're in a dire situation, then we got to get that information out there. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Todd Packer, I never said you're bad or a liar, just that you hop jobs, nothing new. Well, that's the problem. Just because you say it doesn't make it true. You said I hop jobs, but you can't provide an example. At best, let's assume for a second that everything you're saying is true. If everything you're saying is true, I'm average. The average driver, or actually I'm still above average, even if everything you say is true. If I'm at 4 jobs in the past 2 years, one of them was by accident because a truck burnt to the ground. And actually, none of those job changes would have happened had I not had a stroke. But let's exclude all that for a second. Let's say that what you're saying is true. That'd be 4 jobs in 2 years. That's 1 every 6 months. That makes me an average truck driver. If everything you're saying is true, but you have to factor in extenuating circumstances like the strokes and things like that. I would have never left Scott if it wouldn't have been for the strokes. And that's one reason he brought me back as soon as I was medically able again. And so I know you desperately want this to be true, what you're saying, but it's just a false narrative. And I bet we're going to be wrapping up soon. Everybody's going to bed. Ted Van Buskirk says, good night, everyone. Have to get up at 2 a.m. for work. Y'all be safe. I just want to tell y'all that God never intended you to work when it's dark outside. Stay home. Go when the sun rises. I'm just joking, Ted. Be careful out there and holler at me tomorrow. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Packer is a putz. Now I know how you get worms. Yeah, he's you know that that white stuff that forms on the edge of your mouth when you're really dehydrated. That is Todd Packer right there. He's what's wrong with the trucking industry. I'll just go ahead and say it. And you know, he wants to come on here and say that I'm just here for a referral bonus. I can promise you I would not refer Todd Packer to this company because I don't want to be associated with somebody like him. And maybe we're catching him on a bad night, and maybe he's not that bad of a guy. But he could go a long way with me if he'd put his picture up and tell me who he is. I got a pretty good feeling I know who he is. Todd Packer, I don't think I said anything that wasn't true. I'm not trying to put you down. It's just crazy to me how people can switch so fast. I really hope I don't see recruitment videos coming from you. No, you're going to see honest videos coming from me. If people choose to come here after that, that'll be on them. As far as switching so fast, I'm not sure what you mean. I came back to SRO Logistics in November, and I've been here since. This is now September, so that's 10 months. And literally 4 weeks before that, I was recovering from a stroke. So I'm not sure where you're getting the job hopping thing. Again, it's a great criticism. It's a great accusation, but it's definitely a swing and a miss. I know how bad you want it to be true. And I know you think if you say it on here a dozen times, it'll make it true, but it's just not true. The people in the know, the people in the circle, even Scott, know that it's not true. Scott's not calling me a job hopper. I don't think the guy I bought the truck from is calling me a job hopper. He may be mad that I didn't go to completion on the purchase. Heck, I'm mad I didn't go to completion on the purchase. But I don't know where you're getting the job hopper thing. I've asked you for examples, and you haven't been able to give me any yet. You've just kept saying the same things over and over and over. And Steve said, thumbs up are free, guys. Smash the button. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Yes, the chat's been flowing so good tonight. I hadn't said it so far, but please give this video a thumbs up. Share it on your social media platforms and make sure you're subscribed. Those things really, really help the channel, and they irritate trolls like Todd Packer. So even if you don't want to support the channel, irritate a troll and give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you appreciate what we're doing here, and they suggest this video to more people. You can also share this video via text or on your social media platforms, and that also helps the channel. That really helps. I get a report each week that says how many of y'all shared my videos and how many people watched and all that. So I do look at the analytics and constantly look for ways to improve and get better. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Why are you on the live, Packer? Create your own channel and call it Negative Nancy. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't understand people like that. They say that I'm a liar. They hate me, that, they hope I fail, but they keep watching. And I was talking to another YouTuber about this, and he said, I love my trolls. And I said, why do you love your trolls? And he said, because I know they're going to watch every one of my videos till the end. And so I try to keep that perspective when they come on here and they spout their lies. And I realize that the negative things they're saying about me, they're really saying about myself. He's not calling me a liar. He's calling himself a liar. He's telling me what kind of person he is. He's not saying I'm a job hopper, because he can't name an example of me being a job hopper. At best, with a medical exclusion, he's saying I'm lasting at my jobs about as long as the average truck driver does post-COVID. So, I don't know why, instead of watching me, why don't he go create his own channel? Why don't he get a bunch of haters over there that are jealous of the world, a bunch of Karens like himself, and they can talk all night long? Well, the reason he don't do it is nobody would watch it. And he's never going to have a channel that streams over 5 platforms. He's never going to have almost 60,000 people watching him. He's just going to come on here and try to disrupt and spread hate and discontent. We used to have these guys on the CB radio, and they'd sit there, Radio Rambo, trying to stir stuff up. And that's what he's doing. And, I let him get under my skin for a second, but I really feel sorry for him, because I know he lives a miserable, lonely life, and there's probably nobody that cares about him. And unless he changes his attitude and behavior, he's probably going to lie. He's probably going to die a lonely, miserable piece of crap. And so you got to feel sorry for guys like that. Gary Cook, where are you at tonight? I am at the hotel. Let me pull up the hotel for the company I'm going to work for. You know what company it is, so where their home terminal is, and I'm at their home terminal. Here's my hotel room. It's got 2 beds, suitcases on the bed. Everything is strewn everywhere because I was looking for that mouse before the show. Please don't say on here where I'm at yet, though, what town or nothing. I had one guy this week that did guess it, and then he said, I'm not sure, but I told him I wouldn't say yet. But I did have one guy that guessed it. Todd Packer, Robbie Ross, that will be the name of my new store. I've got worms. Oh, well, there you go. Somehow, Todd Packer, I can't see you running a business, though. I think you probably flip hamburgers or something for a living, or you're probably a greeter at Walmart. On a good day, you might be a DoorDasher or something like that. But I just can't imagine you're somebody that's done much with your life other than come on YouTube and attack people for no reason. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator. Good luck with it, Packer. The name suits you. Oh, my. And Red Raider Reloading, moderator. I got to go. Catch y'all later. All right, man. Have a good night. Hopefully you're out of that mess in Dallas. Here we go again. Craig Hutchinson, Trucker Todd had 10 jobs in 2 years. Not true. But if he did, why is it someone else's concern? Well, that's a great point, Craig. I appreciate that. But I can promise you it's not true. We can go through the numbers. I was at SRO until November. I just left literally days ago. Prior to that, he was right. I'd forgot all about him. I was at B&Z for 3 weeks because my SRO truck burnt to the ground the night before I was supposed to pick it up. There's videos about it. Nobody's denying anything I said. From the time I had the stroke to when I started, I think it was 10 months. And so SROs is, even though they're on there twice, it's one job interrupted by a medical emergency. Prior to that, I was at F2F. That's when the accident happened. So that's your 3 years right there. We're very, very close to it. Steve Given, what's a good hourly rate for a driver? Depends where you live. In Lubbock, a good hourly rate's $20, $22 an hour. There's some parts of the country that guy wouldn't even show up at work for that kind of pay. It just depends on the cost of living, where you're at, what you're hauling, what you're doing. South of me, a couple hours from where I live in the oil field, there's guys making a lot more than that. Right there in Lubbock, there's a company paying a lot less than that. I saw one of their ads on Craigslist. They were paying like $800 a week for a 50-hour week, and then or 40, and then if you worked more than that, they paid overtime. But I mean, local jobs, you're usually going to make $1,000 to $1,500 a week, depending on what it is and where it is. Channel member moderator Robbie Ross, like the car business, trolls makes for good numbers and penetration. Yeah. What hurt me in the car business when I first started selling new cars, I was in Amarillo and I had a bunch of family that lived in Amarillo at the time. So they thought this was their opportunity to come down and drive the latest Mustang convertible and things like that. And they didn't realize they were hurting my numbers because that counted as an up. And for those that don't know, in the car business, an up is when you take a customer lead out on the parking lot. And of course, I'm hoping, I'll get them out there and take them on the test drive and they'll want to buy the vehicle. They're driving the Mustang convertible and coming back, oh, now can I drive this? Can I drive that? No, you got to go. You're going to get me fired. Todd Packer, geez, Todd, that was dark. Yeah, I'm a generally positive guy, but we all have a past, and you should never mistake my kindness for weakness. And some people just think because I'm passive and calm now that they can push me around. But at some point, I'll have enough and I'll push back. And I hope we don't get to that point, Todd. But I think you need to go back and watch some of my videos because I think you got some of your facts wrong. And like I said, I think I know who you are, and I think I know who's fed you this information. But it's not true no matter how much you want it to be true or how many times you come in my videos and say things like that. Now, you might notice you haven't been blocked yet. Robbie Ross is a channel member and a moderator. He has the abilities. If he wanted to, he could block you. I have those abilities. Neither one of us had done that because I've got the rule that as long as you're respectful, it's okay if we disagree. And so I've allowed you to stay in here so far because you haven't crossed the line. You've got really close to the line a couple of times, but you haven't crossed it. If you've got some facts, you keep saying that I'm lying or I'm misleading about this and that, or if you've got some facts, put them up and we'll debate them. But if you don't, sit there and enjoy the show or tell me how your week went. Todd Packer, even though we disagree, I appreciate you not blocking myself like Mr. Cry Rabbit. Yeah, I'm not gonna block you. You haven't crossed the line. A couple of your comments got taken down and I still read them. And because I didn't think that, they were close, but it's all right if you think I'm a job hopper. It's all right if you think I'm here for recruitment bonus. The problem is, let me tell you what the problem is. And I'm going to be real fair with you, real honest here. I've literally had probably 2 or 3 dozen people. If Trent's still here, I think I heard him leave a minute ago, but if Trent was here, he'd tell you. Every break I'm on my phone, people ask me where I'm at, why I came here, what I think about it. And so at some point I have to make videos about that. It really doesn't matter what I say. I can come on here and criticize the company and say, this is the worst place ever. Some of you'll say, Todd, I don't believe you. I'm going to try it anyway. Some of you'll say, Todd, you're not happy anywhere you go. So I'll lose that way. If I come over here, I go, man, I'm really excited. This is the best company ever. I love it. Might be true. Then you say I'm a recruiter. I'm just here recruiting. Honestly, there's no way I can win. I'm going to get 3 or 4 guys if I say it's the worst place ever. And then if they don't like it, they're going to say, oh, he just recruited me. And if they do like it, they go, man, I love it here. Todd doesn't know what he's talking about. So what I do is I tell the truth. And I do it in a way that if you're interested, you do your research. I always tell you in my videos, do your own research. Call the recruiter, talk to her. If you think it's something you want to try, do it. If you don't, don't. But, you know, if you use that recruiter, I know the experience you're going to have. You can give them my referral code or not give them actually, and I don't even have a referral code. You can tell her you talked to Trucker Todd. You can not tell her you talked to Trucker Todd. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to help you the same. You get here, you got a question, don't know who to call. I'm going to try to point you in the right direction. I might get in the middle of it if I have to. So me helping you is not going to be contingent on you putting me as a referral bonus. Now, would I appreciate it? Sure, because we're all allotted 24 hours in a day, and I'm using that time to help you. So I would hope that you would reciprocate that and help me in return. But if you don't, that's on you. I'm still going to help you. I'll still, have a hamburger with you if I catch you at a terminal. You got to live with yourself. But what I find is I've helped people to the point now that when they call the recruiter, I've had people say, I'm not coming to your company if Todd's not getting the referral bonus. I've had that happen a lot. I want Todd to get the referral bonus because he's put the time in to help me and answer my questions. And that's how I do it. So it really doesn't matter what video I put out. If I put nothing, you're being stingy, Todd. Why would you work at a good company and not tell nobody? If I criticize it, then I'm not happy anywhere. And if I say good about it and have a positive attitude, then I'm just here for the referral bonuses. So tell me how I win in that situation. Tell me what you would do if you were me. How would you overcome that? I mean, I've got a large platform, like it or not. It's not the largest on YouTube, but in my genre for what I do, it's pretty big. It's definitely very influential. I run into people every week that say, yeah, I watch your videos. I take your advice. Or you've helped me on the phone. Thank you. I mean, what would you do if you're getting over 30 people contacting you, say, tell me about your company. What happened? Are you okay? What would you do? Todd Packer. Todd, I hope you do well at this new company. Thank you. I appreciate it. Todd Packer. Todd, is the new company Prime? No, no. So I've got a lot of problems with Prime. One of them's the 64 mile an hour truck. One of them is the mandated home time. One of them, there's a lot of problems with Prime. No, and you don't have to do very much research on Prime to know that guys over there are really struggling right now. They're having trouble getting loads. They're having even more trouble getting loads that pay well. And so where I'm at now, and I can tell you this, I get 70% of line haul plus a fuel surcharge. The examples I saw today, it works out real close to almost what line haul would have paid if they hadn't have taken their 30% out after they add the fuel surcharge. The secret here, like anywhere that pays a fuel surcharge, is going to be to get the good fuel economy. And so you're going to see me adjust my strategy, and I'm going to run slower when I can. It's got an APU, so I'm not going to idle anytime I don't have to idle. And I'm just going to really try to stay on top of maintenance and be as productive as I can be. No way am I going to make near the money that I was making at SRO Logistics. I know that. But as I've said in other videos, money's not everything. And so to me, it's more important to have something that's doable. And I believe having a factory warranty, having a company that is financially able to stand up behind me until I get back on my feet good is what I needed at this juncture. I suspect in this economy, there's going to be a lot of people that are looking for something similar, a company that's going to stand behind them, stand beside them, it's got their best interest at heart. And I think that you're going to see a lot of people interested in coming over here. I think I'm going to be accused of being a recruiter, but I told the guy in orientation, you remember me saying at the start of this video, I said, I'm surprised you let me come here if you watch my videos. And he said, no, that's why I wanted you here. I know you're going to tell the truth. He said, if there's a problem, I'll know what we need to work on. If things are good, then I'll know we're doing the right thing. And so, you know, he knows my rule about YouTube. I'm going to approach them before I come on here and sling mud. I'm going to call them and say, hey, I really don't think y'all treated me fairly on this. You know, I don't think my pay was right on this. And if they fix it, you guys are never going to know about it. If they say, yeah, Todd, we screwed you, and that's just the way it is, then you're going to see a video on it. And I know that. My longtime viewers know that. And this company I'm at now knows that. And they're okay with that. They just want a fair shake. Hey, kind of like this headset. I'm wearing the RW1. The RW2 broke. They're sending me another one. They sent it to me. They said, hey, we want you to test it. We want you to like you use it. And if it's good, we want to know. If it breaks, we want to know. So when it broke, I text them, hey, I've only got the RW1 now. The RW2 broke. And the RW2 between you and I was my favorite of the two. This one's nice. The other one I like a little better. It's about $20 higher. And they said, we're going to send you another one. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow at my house, according to tracking. I'm going to be out here on the road the next 2 or 3 weeks because, like I said, my money's going to come from driving the truck. Am I going to get some referral bonuses along the way? Yeah, but it's not going to influence me telling you the truth on here. And so I'm going to go out here and run. You'll see the RW2 back on here as soon as I can get to Lubbock and pick it up. But, you know, a lot of guys would have been put off with that. I appreciate that the Road Warrior company stands behind their products and sent me another one and took good care of me. So I don't have anything bad to say about them. I'll come on here and tell you it broke. I'll also come on here and tell you they took care of me. And they did what I believe was the correct and moral thing to do. And so I'm very happy with them. If I guess that makes me a recruiter. I'm not being paid nothing. They haven't gave me $1. They did give me these headsets. I guess that's the same as currency. I can't pay my rent with it. But they did give me 2 headsets, and I'm about to get a 3rd headset because the other one broke. Some people are going to call me a recruiter, even though I hadn't made $1 off of it. There are some products I have on here that I do make money off of. The video that came out this morning, I told the truth in that video, but I do make money off of it. I mean, I believe that when you have a job, you should make money off of it. And YouTube's a job just like driving a truck's a job. Robbie Ross, channel member and moderator, Prime. LOL. Yeah. It's funny because I've said so much negative about Prime, and it would have been real funny if I would have went to like Hurricane after I just released that video. That would make me a sellout, and I would get why people are mad. Oh, Todd, you trashed them for 30 minutes and now you're working there. You know, Prime had their day in the sun. There was a time when it was a great place to work, but they stopped putting like their safety meetings on YouTube because, man, they said some stuff on there that didn't make them look like a great place to work. And they thought only their people was watching it and it was getting shared out. So I think Prime has some stuff they need to work on right now. And when they get when they get and I think they're going to have to do it pretty quick because the word's getting out about them. What blows my mind, and I'll just tell y'all, I can't believe anybody would go to Super Ego at this point. If you're working at Super Ego, you clearly do not do your research. And, there's people, I'll see these ads for Super Ego on Facebook, and hundreds of people will put in their zip code, and they're like, oh, I want to lease a truck. I want to go there. I want to go there. Have they not done any research at all? A quick YouTube search will tell you that's not the place you want to be. Try to find one good Super Ego video, and you may find one from a year ago. Guess what? That driver don't work there no more. Try to find one good Super Ego video. So if I went to Super Ego, I could get it. I could see why people would think bad things about me. But yeah, this is a good point that Todd Packer makes. If you watch Prime Truckers on YouTube, sounds like the best company out there. Well, and a lot of those guys were doing really well there for a time. But the problem is, and I think this happens to a lot of companies, is they get some YouTubers there, and the YouTubers are doing well. They're doing happy. And the companies, it's literally what happened to me at Swift. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the trucking company sees all these new hires coming in. They think, oh, wow, this is the best thing ever. This is going to last forever. So we can make policy changes that benefit us. And so they start making changes. And all of a sudden, it's not the same company that the YouTubers were talking about. So then the YouTubers start leaving. And everybody's mad at the YouTubers going, oh, well, they were just there for recruitment bonuses. And let's be honest, some of them were. But I'm thinking about that Trucker Kersey or whatever her name was that was at Prime. I think she was really happy there as a company driver. But they started making changes, and it wasn't the same deal anymore. Now, what's she supposed to do in that case? Stay there at a company she's not happy about? Or is she supposed to make a vertical move and go do what's best for her and her family? Now, a year from now, Prime may go back. They may say, hey, we made a mistake. Nobody wants to work here anymore. And they may revert back, and she may come back, and some of the other YouTubers may come back. But, I mean, I've heard some stuff in Prime videos that it would be an immediate no-go for me. That Lytx inward-facing camera is a no-go for me. And so it's not a place I'm going. There's other companies that I know of that are much better companies, but they've got a Lytx camera, and I'm not going there. So far, I've only heard one reason. Somebody finally did it, and it was in this orientation class. I've said forever that if you could tell me one reason that benefited the driver to have an inward-facing camera, that I would stop debating about it. Well, guess what? Somebody did. If you're a trainer and you've got the opposite sex trainee in your truck, this is a very specific circumstance. The inward-facing camera could potentially protect you from a sexual harassment charge or something like that. Now, that's a very rare instance. I'm never going to train again. I did do it at one point, ironically, at Prime, back in like 2005, 2006, something like that. But other than that, I can't think of how a camera benefits the driver. I can see how it benefits the company, but as an independent business owner, leasing a truck, I don't see how it benefits you to have that camera in there. They can coach you, and that may make you a better driver, but I mean, I've been doing this 28 years. I think I've pretty much got it figured out. All right, we're caught up on the comments. I'm going to give y'all a second to type. I really appreciate everybody coming in tonight and keeping the chat going like you have. I appreciate the moderators watching everything. Make sure we have a smooth show. we'll keep going as long as y'all got something to talk about, and then I'll dip out of here when y'all are done. I see some comments that hadn't posted yet, so I think we got some coming. I guess I can read them off the phone. I just won't be able to put them on the screen. Man, a bunch of them didn't show up. And I hate it because he's already left now. Brennan put, Destiny and I care about you and only want to see you successful. Yeah, I believe that. He's a good friend. I appreciate that. Let me see if I see any more that I recognize I missed. If not, the comments are pretty stopped now. We'll get out of here pretty quick. I think most of my audience had to go to sleep. Everybody's getting up at 2 in the morning. Crap, I just knocked the chat out. Let's see. All right, folks, I think we're caught up. Let me say the comment that irritates the trolls, and then we'll get out of here. Y'all have a great night. Those of you that's got my number, holler at me tomorrow and we'll talk. Y'all take care, and y'all have a good night. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round. For my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why